The research station drifted in quiet orbit above a pale blue star. Its halls were narrow and clean, built to serve many species that did not share the same shape or habits. Lights shifted color to match the eyes of whoever passed. Gravity hummed at a steady pull, calm and gentle. Until it did not, Kang Jae-in moved along a service corridor with a tool case in his left hand. He was a junior xenotechnician from Earth, sent to help with small repairs that senior engineers avoided. He worked carefully and spoke little. He had learned that on mixed stations, silence often kept peace. The gravity stabilizer on Deck 7 had been acting strange all day. It dipped and rose like a slow breath. Jae-in checked the panel and read the warning lines twice. The numbers were not dangerous, but they were wrong. He knelt, opened the panel, and reached inside. Footsteps approached from behind. Heavy ones. Not human, Yura entered the corridor with firm steps. She wore the dark uniform of station security. Her species was tall and strong, with smooth skin that reflected the light. Her posture showed pride and strict control. She stopped near the stabilizer and watched the human work. Jae-in did not notice her at first. He adjusted a cable and leaned closer. At that moment, the gravity shifted hard. The floor tilted. His balance broke. His foot slipped. He reached back without thinking. His hand made contact with Yura. The touch lasted less than a second. Jae-in froze. His breath stopped. He pulled his hand away at once and turned, eyes wide. Yura stiffened. Her eyes flashed. Her voice cut through the corridor like metal. "Get your hands off me, human." The words echoed. Nearby crews stopped and stared. Jae-in stepped back, hands raised, face pale. "I slipped," he said quickly. Gravity failed. "I did not mean to touch you." Yura took one step forward. Her presence filled the space. Among her people, any contact without permission was an insult. Among officers, it was worse. "You violated my space," she said. "You dishonored my rank." Jae-in shook his head. He tried to explain again, slow and calm. He pointed to the open panel. He spoke of the gravity dip. His voice stayed steady, but his heart raced. Other crew gathered. Some were human. Some were alien. Lee Hana pushed through the group. She wore a simple uniform and carried a data pad. She was a diplomatic aide, trained to stop small problems before they grew. "What happened?" she asked. Yura repeated the accusation. Her words were clear and sharp. Hannah listened without interrupting. Then she turned to Jae-in. "He was repairing the stabilizer," Hannah said. "There have been drops all day." "That is irrelevant," Yura replied. "His body made contact with mine," the crowd murmured. Different species had different rules. What was small to one to be serious to another. Commander Solon arrived moments later. He was older, with calm eyes and a steady voice. He ordered the area cleared and the panel sealed. He looked at Jae-in. "You will be detained until this is reviewed," Solon said. Jae-in nodded. He did not argue. He knew arguing would only make things worse. Yura turned away, her face still hard. But inside, her thoughts moved fast. She knew the gravity fault was real. She had felt it too. Still, protocol demanded anger. Her culture did not allow silence in such moments. Jae-in sat alone in a small waiting room. The walls were smooth and gray. He stared at his hands. He replayed the moment again and again. He wished he could take it back. He wished gravity had held. Hannah spoke to Solon outside. She explained human reflexes. She explained accidents in unstable fields. Solon listened, but his eyes stayed distant. The station relied on order. Order came from rules. Later, a message reached Che- and. Report to Officer Yara's quarters. He blinked at the screen. His mouth went dry. Quarters meant privacy. Privacy meant judgment. Or worse, he stood and walked down the corridor. Each step felt heavy. When he reached the door, it opened at once. Yura stood inside. Her room was simple. Clean lines. No weapons on display. Enter. She said. Jae-in stepped in. The door closed behind him. He waited. Yura studied him in silence. Her voice, when it came, was calm. You will speak truthfully. Human. He nodded. Why did you reach back? She asked. I was falling, he said. Humans reach when we fall. We grab. It is instinct. She watched his face. She saw fear, but also honesty. My anger earlier, she said, was required. But I needed to know if it was accident or intent. It was accident, he said. Silence filled the room. The station hummed beyond the walls. Yura finally nodded. You may go, she said. For now. As Jae-in left, he did not know that this small moment would change how the station saw humans. He only knew that his hands still shook, and that the future felt uncertain. The gravity stabilizer, quietly, waited to fail again. The station returned to its slow routine, but the air felt tight. People spoke in lower voices. Eyes followed Jae-in when he walked the halls. He kept his head down and focused on work. He checked panels, replaced worn parts, and logged reports with care. He did not joke. He did not rush. He wanted no more trouble. The gravity dips continued. Not strong, but frequent. Small tools slid across tables. Cups tipped and spilled. A few aliens complained of nausea. The station systems flagged warnings that made no sense together. Advanced modules showed green, while simple sensors showed red. Jae-in noticed this pattern and felt uneasy. He told his supervisor, a quiet engineer named Park Sun-woo. Sun-woo listened and frowned. The core system thinks nothing is wrong, Sun-woo said. But the edge sensors disagree. That means the system is lying to itself, Jae-in said. Sun-woo nodded slowly. He told Jae-in to gather more data. Elsewhere, Yura stood in the security office and watched the same warnings scroll past. She had cleared Jae-in for release, but protocol still listed him under review. Some officers questioned her choice. She answered with calm words and firm tone. Still, doubt lingered. Her people valued control. Humans seemed chaotic. Yet she remembered the fear in Jae-in's eyes and the truth in his voice. Accidents happened. She knew this, even if her culture disliked admitting it. Lee Hana moved between offices, smoothing sharp words and easing small disputes. She heard the rumors grow. Some said the human was reckless. Some said the alien officer overreacted. Hana corrected where she could, but stories moved faster than facts. A message reached Yura from Commander Solin. He requested a review meeting. Yura prepared her report with care. She included sensor logs and witness statements. She did not include her private thoughts. At the meeting, Solin listened in silence. When Yura finished, he tapped the table. Humans rely on instinct, he said. Instinct is unreliable. Sometimes it saves lives, Yura replied. Solin studied her. He dismissed the meeting without decision. Later that cycle, a stronger gravity drop hit the station. Lights flickered. A cargo crate slid and struck a wall. Alarms chimed, then stopped. Jae-in felt the shift under his feet. He grabbed a rail and steadied himself. He checked his pad. The reading spiked, then smoothed. This is getting worse. He muttered. He followed the signal trail to a junction near the habitat ring. The panel was sealed by alien security locks. He requested access and waited. No reply. Time passed. Another dip came. Louder alarms this time. Doors sealed in sections. Yura received alerts and moved fast. She issued orders to secure corridors and assist civilians. As she ran, she felt the floor tilt. Her stride faltered. She caught herself and swore under her breath. She remembered the corridor, the open panel, the human sudden reach dot at the junction. Yura met J-In. He stood by the sealed panel, data streaming across his pad. "Officer," he said, keeping distance. "The stabilizer loop is feeding bad data into the core. The core trusts it without checks. Alien systems do not allow unverified changes," Yura said. "That is the problem," J-In said. "The error is inside the rules." She watched the numbers scroll. They made sense in a way she did not like. Too clean. Too calm. "What do you need?" she asked. "Access and time," he said. "Not much time." She hesitated. Protocol weighed heavy. But the floor tilted again, harder. A nearby alien cried out as she stumbled. Yura keyed her badge to the panel. "The locks released. You have 10 minutes," she said. J-In opened the panel and worked fast. He rerouted lines and added a manual check loop using spare parts. It was not elegant. It was human. As he worked, he spoke out loud, partly for Yura, partly for himself. He explained how rigid systems failed when they trusted themselves too much. He explained how humans built in doubt. Yura listened. She did not interrupt. The alarms rose to a sharp tone. Life support dipped. Temperature dropped by a fraction. 2 minutes, Yura said. J-In finished the loop and slammed the panel shut. He triggered the reset. The station shook once. Then the gravity steadied. The alarm softened and went silent. Lights returned to full strength. Crew in the corridor exhaled together. J-In leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Yura watched the readings stabilize. She felt something shift inside her. Not just relief. Understanding. Commander Solon arrived moments later. He looked from the panel to J-In. "Explain," he said. J-In did. Simply, clearly. He did not boast. He did not blame. Solon listened. For the first time, his expression changed. "You bypassed safeguards," Solon said. "I added a question mark," J-In replied. "Your system never asks why." Silence followed. Solon nodded once. "We will review this approach," he said. Later, as the station settled, Yura called J-In to her office. This time, the door stayed open. "You acted with courage," she said. He shook his head. "I just did my job." She allowed a small pause. "Earlier, I misjudged you," she said. He met her eyes. "I understand your rules." Yura inclined her head. Among her people, it was a sign of respect. As J-In left, the whispers changed tone. The human who caused trouble became the human who fixed it. The station drifted on, a little safer, with a new idea planted deep in its systems. The station felt different after the repair. The hum of the systems sounded steadier, deeper, like a calm breath. Crew members walked with less fear, though many still looked at the walls and floors as if expecting another shift. Trust, once shaken, returned slowly. J-In returned to his duties, but his access level changed. Doors opened faster. Panels accepted his code without delay. No one announced it, yet everyone noticed. Some aliens watched him with new interest, some with caution. Yura noticed everything. She stood on an upper platform in the central hub and observed the flow of life below. Humans moved with loose steps and easy turns. Aliens of many kinds moved with trained precision. Two ways of living, sharing one station. Her superiors requested detailed reports on the repair. She sent them line by line. She did not hide the human methods. She explained them. That alone felt strange. Commander Solon called a broader meeting. Engineers, security officers, and diplomatic aides filled the chamber. Lee Hanna sat near the center, calm as ever. Solon spoke of the failure and the fix. He spoke of rules and limits. Then he gestured to Jayin. "Explain your thinking, human." Solon said. J-in stood. He felt the eyes on him. He took a breath. "Our systems expect mistakes," he said. "So we plan for them. We assume something will break at the worst time. We do not trust one path alone," an alien engineer objected. "That wastes resources. Sometimes," Jayin replied. "Sometimes it saves lives." The room went quiet. I watched Solon's face. The commander was not angry. He was thinking. After the meeting, Yura approached Jayin in the corridor. Crew passed by, pretending not to listen. "Walk with me," she said. They moved side by side, keeping space. The station lights shifted to a neutral tone. "You changed more than a circuit," Yura said. "You changed how others see your kind." He shrugged. "I just fixed a problem? That is how changes begin," she replied. They stopped near a viewport. Stars stretched like cold fire beyond the glass dot. "My people believe control prevents chaos," Yura said. "Humans seem to believe chaos is part of life. We learn to live with it," Jayin said. She studied him. In her culture, strength showed through command and discipline. Yet here was another form. Quiet, flexible. Days passed. The station council approved limited use of human-style redundancy in non-critical systems. It was a small step. A careful one. Then a message arrived from beyond the station. A long-range scan detected unknown ships entering the system. Their design did not match any known ally. Security moved at once. Yura took command of patrol teams. Solon ordered shields raised. Jayin watched from a side station as data poured in. The unknown ships did not respond to signals. Their movement patterns were sharp and aggressive. "They are testing us," Hana said quietly. The first strike was small but precise. A burst hit an outer relay. Systems flickered. Yura issued orders with clear voice. Defense platforms aligned. Return fire forced the ships back, but not far. Another hit struck the communications array. The station shook. Gravity wavered. Jayin felt the floor dip and rise. His heart clenched. Not again. Readings spiked across multiple systems. The attack caused stress patterns the station had never faced. Alien engineers rushed to contain the damage. Their systems locked into preset responses. Firewalls rose. Paths closed. The attackers adapted faster. Yura realized the danger. Rigid defense made predictable targets. She opened a channel to Jayin. "I need options," she said. He scanned the data. The enemy was probing, learning, adjusting. "They expect us to react the same way each time," he said. "We should not. That violates doctrine," she replied. "Doctrine does not stop incoming fire." He said. Silence stretched for a breath. "Do it." Yura said. Jayin rerouted power manually. He created false patterns, delayed signals, uneven responses. The station seemed slow, then fast, then quiet. The enemy hesitated. Defense fire struck 2 ships. One broke formation. Inside the station, systems groaned under strange loads. Some aliens protested the chaos in their controls. "Trust me," Jayin said over the channel. "It will feel wrong." Yura stood firm. "Hold positions," she ordered. "Follow my command." Another attack came, weaker this time. The shields bent but held. The unknown ships pulled back. Their signals faded. Cheers erupted in the command hall. Relief washed through the station. Solon turned to Yura. "That was unorthodox." He said. "It worked," she replied. Later, as repairs began, Yura met Jayin again. This time, her posture softened. "You embraced disorder," she said. He smiled faintly. "We guided it." She considered this. "Perhaps control is not the absence of chaos," she said. Perhaps it is knowing when to allow it. J-in nodded. The station drifted on, marked now by an unseen shift. Humans were no longer just guests. They were partners. And Yura, watching the stars, wondered how much more her people had yet to learn. Repairs continued for many cycles after the attack. Panels were replaced, conduits realigned, and damaged relays rebuilt. The station carried scars, but it lived. Crew moved with purpose again. Fear had changed into focus. J-in worked long hours. He checked systems that were never meant to be touched by human hands. Each time he requested access, it came faster than before. Some aliens asked questions. Others watched quietly and learned. Yura coordinated security drills with new patterns. Patrols no longer followed perfect lines. Response times varied by design. Confusion became a tool. She felt resistance from older officers, but she held firm. Control is not weakness, she told them. Predictability is. Lee Hanna helped draft new cooperation rules. Humans and aliens shared authority in mixed teams. It was slow work. Words mattered. Meanings shifted between cultures. Commander Solon approved a test of the new approach on outer defense platforms. The results were clear. Simulated threats failed to find patterns. The station council took notice. Then another message arrived. The unknown ships returned, this time with more numbers. They stayed at long range and observed. Yura stood in the command hall, calm and ready. She opened a channel to all teams. We will not rush, she said. We will make them guess. J-in sat at a secondary console. He fed small errors into the system. Delays that looked like weakness. Bursts that looked like fear. He watched the enemy react. They advanced in stages, testing the edges. Their fire was careful. No, J-in said softly. Yura gave the order. Defense platforms flared to life in uneven waves. Some fired early, some late. The shields pulsed out of rhythm. The enemy ships shifted formation. One moved too close. Return fire struck it hard. Its hull cracked. The rest pulled back. Cheers rose again, but Yura raised a hand. Stay alert, she said. As the ships retreated, a small craft broke away and headed toward the station. It was fast and silent. Boarding attempt, Hanna said. Security teams moved. Corridors sealed and reopened in changing paths. Lights dimmed and brightened. Gravity shifted in short pulses. The boarding craft, attached near an engineering ring. Yura led the response team. She moved with steady steps, despite the shifting floor. J-in followed, carrying a portable control unit. The breach opened. Shapes moved through smoke. The attackers were lean and quick. Yura issued commands. Her team advanced, not in straight lines but in arcs. They forced the attackers into confusion. J-in triggered local changes. Gravity dipped for a breath, then returned. The attackers stumbled. Security moved in. One attacker broke through and ran toward a control node. J-in saw it and reacted without thought. He lunged, grabbed a railing, and swung his body into the attacker. They hit the wall. The attacker fell. Yura stared for a moment, then resumed command. The boarding team was captured. The threat ended. Afterward, silence filled the corridor. Smoke cleared. System stabilized. Yura approached J-in. You took a risk, she said. He nodded. Someone had to. She studied him, then spoke in a lower voice. Earlier, in that first corridor, you reached out without thinking. She said. Yes, he replied. This time she said, you did the same. And it saved lives. He did not know how to answer. Later, the station council met again. Evidence from the captured attackers revealed a simple truth. The enemy believed the station weak, Because it housed humans. They believed humans caused disorder. Solon read the report in silence. Then he looked at Jae-in. They were correct about one thing. He said. The room waited. Humans do bring disorder. Solon continued. The useful kind. A few aliens exchanged looks. Hana smiled slightly. Solon turned to Yor. Your judgment stands, he said. Yura inclined her head. That cycle, the station held a quiet gathering. No speeches. No banners. Just shared space. Humans and aliens ate together. Laughter moved through the room, uncertain at first, then easier. Jae-in stood near the edge, watching. Yura joined him. Your people adapt quickly, she said. We have to, he replied. We rarely have the best tools. She considered that. Perhaps that is why you learn to use each other, she said. He smiled. As the stars drifted beyond the station walls, something settled into place. Not peace, but balance. And for the first time since arriving, Jae-in felt like he truly belonged. Time passed, and the station settled into a new rhythm. It was not quiet, but it was alive. Systems hummed with layered checks. Patrols moved with choice instead of habit. Humans and aliens worked side by side, no longer as guests and hosts, but as crew. Jae-in felt the change most in small moments. An alien engineer asked for his opinion before sealing a panel. A security officer waited for his signal before adjusting gravity. These were simple acts, but they carried weight. Yura stood before her unit during a routine briefing. She spoke of readiness and restraint. She spoke of watching for patterns and breaking them when needed. Her officers listened. Some still struggled, but none openly resisted. After the briefing, Yura walked alone through the corridor where everything had begun. The stabilizer panel was sealed tight now, reinforced and marked with new symbols. She paused and placed a hand near it, not touching, just remembering. Her communicator chimed. A message from Command Central. A diplomatic convoy was approaching. Human-led? Yura frowned slightly. Human-led convoys were rare. She informed Commander Solon and prepared security teams, though her tone held no alarm. The convoy arrived without trouble. Small ships, light armor, flexible formation. They docked with calm precision. Jae-in watched from the bay as the lead envoy disembarked. The human leader spoke with ease, adapting words and gestures to each species present. There was no show of dominance. Only confidence. Hannah stood beside Jae-in. This is what trust looks like, she said. He nodded. During the council session, Solon addressed the convoy. He spoke of the attacks, the repairs, and the station's survival. Then he turned to Jae-in. You represent a principle your people carry, Solon said. Adaptation under pressure. Jae-in felt heat rise to his face. He said nothing. Solon continued. This station will adopt shared command doctrine, he said. Human methods included. The room stirred. History shifted in that quiet space. Later, Yura met Jae-in near the viewport again. Stars drifted slowly, unchanged. The station has changed, she said. So have we, he replied. She looked at him directly. When I first accused you, I believed strength came from control alone, she said. Now I see another truth. He waited. Strength also comes from trust, she said. From knowing when to let go. She paused. I called you to my room that day because I needed certainty, she added. I found it. He inclined his head, careful, respectful. A soft alarm sounded across the station. Not danger. Ceremony. Crew gathered in the central hub. Solon stood at the center with representatives of many species. He raised his voice. This station recognizes humanity as a full partner in its defense and future, he announced. Applause followed. Some clapped. Some struck the floor. Some bowed. Yura stepped forward and placed a small insignia on Jae-in's uniform. It marked joint authority. He looked at it in disbelief. "You earned this," she said. He answered simply. "We earned it." Laughter moved through the crowd dot as the gathering broke apart. Ji-in stood alone for a moment, breathing in the sound of many lives sharing one space. He thought of Earth, of all the times humans survived by bending instead of breaking. Yura joined him once more. "The galaxy is watching now." She said, "Dot, let them watch." He replied, "We will keep fixing things." She allowed herself a small smile. The station drifted onward. No longer just a structure of metal and rules, but a living example of cooperation. Dot, and far beyond its hull, the stars waited, unaware that something important had quietly changed.